we've come down lower, and now we're hovering around this previous area that was support that is now resistance. So do we break above or we get rejected and go lower? No idea, but I do not want to be taking longs into this. This is just not interesting on the long side for sure. But there's really no good entries for the short side. This was the short entry progression, and I missed them because I was focusing on some swing positions. I was annoyed at all of this crap that I did. Just poor trading. This was fine. What annoyed me about this trade was I had my order here, and I usually have a 5-tick automated stop that comes up. The move was so fast, it stopped me out at almost two. I don't know. It looks like a lot more. It's definitely more than 5 ticks. It might have been. I got slippage by probably 2 ticks, and that's just frustrating to get that kind of slippage. And then I got it again. I got some slippage here on a long. I had a break even, and it slippage. It gave me some slippage. This was just this short. This short was not ideal either. It wasn't terrible, but it's not ideal. I was looking at lower highs here. This one I was looking at lower highs, but I should have taken it at the trend line, but I didn't have the trend line drawn at the time because I was just emotionally compromised. This is what I'm talking about in terms of emotional compromising. This is, I'm going to just label this emo trades. It's just dumb, just bad trading where I'm not logical, I'm not rational, I'm not in control of my mental state, and what ends up happening is I take bad entries and I pay the price. So yeah, so in those situations, right, you know, I need to stop trading, and so that's why I kind of just let myself go. I tried to get a couple of these and I just couldn't get an entry here. So now it's better to just wait and hold off for now and just watch. And so that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, now the question is, do we go up to this trend line, we short it? I probably will take a short at this trend line just because it trends down. This is quite a big bounce. Chances are we're not going to make another V again up. We could, but the odds don't seem likely. However, if I enter early, then it can just stop me out, and that's a problem. This area right here is a kind of pattern that I notice in myself a lot where I'm going to write this down for my own reference. Oh no. Okay, so now we're getting this kind of move where it's starting to. So I would like to short here if I can get an entry. But we could also just, this is bouncing at the mid band and come up here. So it's tough. Yeah, man, tough. So there's not. It seems a little 50-50 right now. If this trend line weren't here, I would short, but because we're so close to it that I can see buyers push this up, traders just push it up to the trend line, and then maybe it gets rejected. Let's see how this plays out. All right, once we break through there, I'm looking to short this thing. I'm going to put my stop right here, give myself a little bit more room, and see if we can get something. It's starting to punch higher though. I don't like this. So, but it still looks like it's trying to go lower. But it could easily rip right up. So here we go. That's what I wanted to see. All right, nice. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. So now it's coming back. It's just, I liked this because there was a slowdown. So now this is just kind of tricky. It's, this would be an entry, but I took this already, so there's no reason to take this, and I can see this just coming up higher. Yeah, and that's what kind of what it looks like here. So, you know, expectation of a trend line. But here's the thing, though. Any of these shorts right here who did not take their exit on this move down, hoping for this or lower, if we get up here, this trend line may not hold. This trend line might just go straight up and out. And yeah, let's see. I mean, you see these bars, these are strong bars. This whole region here. So, okay, you got that rejection. It's just so obvious. Traders, algos, people are just waiting right here to short that. And then now the question is, do we keep failing? Or do they run it up and just stop out a lot of these guys right here? See, this is what I was thinking might happen. And then it's going to pop. And then this is going to just go probably something like this, my guess. You know, just because if you think about it, this is a range, right? So then we might get something like that. Let me delete this as an extension of this range. So all these guys who are short here are now realizing, oh my, I need to get out. So this short worked out. It wasn't, I expected, I was hoping it would drop sooner. But my stop actually would have held. Volatility adjusted stop, 6 ticks would have been fine actually. I put it back here, so I gave myself 2 points. I should have held a little bit more, but you know, this was something I was concerned about. I'm happy with the trade. It worked out well. I redeemed this area where I took so many consecutive losing trades that were reactive. Like this short's fine, okay. You're getting lower highs, marginally lower lows. This is not an ideal structure to short into, just because you have so many. The buyers are stepping in here as clear support. So really, the better short is to wait for this break, take the pullback. That's what I should have done. I didn't do that, and because I did not do what I should have done, you end up with this kind of result where you're just stopping out, making poor decisions. This was a slippage issue. This was a slippage issue, but still, this was just silly. Like well, maybe not silly, because I just got high ticked by a little bit. So if I had just taken it a little bit higher, I had the right idea. The problem was I just did not have a good entry because I hadn't drawn the trend line. I was reacting off of this trade losing. And I saw this thing get rejected and then look at pull back, and I'm like, okay, lower high somewhere, I want to short this. But if I had drawn the trend line, I could have said, okay, maybe take it here, give myself a stop here, give me a chance of holding through a retest of this pivot. And I didn't do that, so I got stopped out, lost, even though the trade was good. And then I tried to go long because I saw the higher high, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe the direction's changing, but this is a marginally higher high. And this kind of thing happens, stop out the shorts, and then they take it down. And that happens a lot. So these slowdowns are where I tend to lose the most, and it's my own fault. I know this, and I still haven't gotten to the point where I can fully divorce myself from trading in these regions, because I take one bad trade and then I want to make it up, and then I want to make it up, I want to make it up, and it cascades instead of all the easy trades over here, right? This just let's just take a quick EMA. I mean, a lot of these trades I actually tried to place orders in, but I don't like to jump in front of the moving average. I like to catch it at or behind it, and clearly, I mean, you just didn't get much of that at all. So, you know, and then here it's like, you know, you're going to get a deeper pullback. You don't want to trade this. I caught this. I wish I'd taken it closer to here, but I was expecting it closer to the trend line. And then when I saw this pullback and then I saw this lower high, I think, okay, two of them. And then I was like, okay, this, and then it came down, made a lower low. I was like, okay, I want to be in this trade now. I want to be short. I got in, not the best entry, but it was the right idea. This closer here, maybe the 21, something over here would have been a better entry. But you know, it could have just gone too. So I got it, took that short, came back, made a higher low, right? So you got this kind of thing playing out. And now you're in this wedge against this trend line. We came back, we tested the trend, like popped through. It was a fake breakout and didn't quite get this range, but we got a decent one. So I'm gonna delete this to make it a little bit easier. We're still dancing around this level here. And we got this wedge playing out. So I don't know how this is playing out. Wedges tend to be 50-50. No edge on either side, so there's no reason. This actually would have been a good trade. I was kind of doing some analysis and talking and yada yada yada, but this would have been a good trade. And the logic behind this is you get a low, you go higher, you get your deeper pullback, but still higher low, and then you get a higher high off that. And so then these guys are thinking, okay, this is just gonna go. I need to get out. So then they start closing their positions, and that gives you this ramp up. And then the shorts come in for the higher low, and that's what creates this wedge, this triangle rather, not a triangle. And it goes lower, hits the trend line, comes up, and now we've got another triangle forming. Down trend line, forming. And the question is, do we pop up higher or do we reject and go lower? I don't know. There's no edge right now, so there's no reason to trade. In my opinion, this kind of thing is where you know, this is even worse than this. So I don't want to trade this. I'm going to stop here at 10.13. I am up 297.8 after commissions, 8 trades, 50% profitability, but I'm up about 6 points, which for me is good. It's what I've been right around my average for the last 2 weeks per day, so I'm happy with that. What I took away from this day was, you know, same as usual. When I get these slowdowns and I take a bad trade, I need to just stop. Really, I should have stopped after this trade, because then I started to get, I knew this kind of consolidation tends to lead to deeper pullbacks. I know that happens, and yet, you know, my mind was divided. I was looking at some other things and focusing, had my attention split. I mechanically just took a trade. I saw lower highs, took the trade, but I wasn't thinking about higher lows. So really, this is a triangle. And so when you get these triangles, you just, you know, as you're seeing, you just get whipsawed. This was no good. Just poor trading for me. Really, once you see this break, and I saw this, and I wanted this trade here, didn't get a fill, and just start to go, and really felt like there was no entry for me. And then when it came down here, I just didn't want to chase it, and then, you know, it just came down. So that's fine. You're not going to get all of them. But then, fortunately, I stayed out of this. My amazing wife talked to me and tried to just get my mindset back. And so I was able to recover and then take another trade here. That worked out, and now I think I'm done for the day. I might check in later, but I think if I trade more, I might just give up more. So I'm just gonna stop.